I don't know who needs to hear this, but there are some houses you enter once and they enter you forever. I survived mine, but I didn't leave alone. I don't really like talking about that night. In fact, for a long time, I trained myself to pretend it never happened. But the truth is, pretending doesn't erase anything. It still finds me. It still visits me. And sometimes, it feels like it never truly left. It began on a cold evening. I had gone to visit a friend's family house, a place they hadn't used for years. They just needed me to take a few things for them. Nothing complicated, nothing dangerous. Just a quick in and out. At least, that's what I thought. From the moment I stepped in, the house felt wrong. I can't explain it. The air was still too heavy. There was a smell, not the normal kind of old house smell. This one was damp, metallic, almost like rust mixed with something rotten. The light in the hallway flickered the second I closed the door. I remember pausing, looking around, whispering to myself that it was just electricity, just an old bulb. I walked into the living room first. Everything was exactly where they said it would be. Boxes, old furniture, a wall of dusty family photos. But there was something strange about the photos. Almost all of them had scratches on the faces. Some were subtle, others were deep, violent gouges that completely removed the eyes or mouths. I told myself it was just age, but something about those scratches, they looked intentional. I picked up the first box and heard something behind me. A soft, dragging sound, like fabric being pulled across the floor. I turned sharply, expecting an animal, a curtain, anything, but the room was still, completely still, except the shadow on the far wall. It shifted, not like a trick of the light. It moved, as if something had been standing there and just slipped out of sight. I felt my chest tighten. I tried to shake it off. "You're just tired," I whispered to myself. But deep down, I already knew something was very, very wrong. I carried the box toward the hallway when I heard it again. This time, a whisper, low, raspy. I couldn't make out a single word, but it felt close, too close. I looked over my shoulder. Nothing. But the whispering didn't stop. It followed. Soft at first, then sharper. I dropped the box. My hands were shaking. I walked slowly toward the staircase, telling myself I needed to be sure nothing was up there before I panicked over nothing. The stairs creaked under each step, and halfway up, I froze. There was someone standing at the top, or something, a silhouette. Tall, absolutely still, the shape of its head tilted slightly to the side like it was watching me. I blinked, and it was gone. I should have left right then. I should have turned back. But something pulled me forward, not curiosity, but pressure. Like the air behind me suddenly thickened and pushed. I got to the top of the stairs. The whispering stopped, and the silence was worse. It was the kind of silence that has weight, like the house itself was holding its breath. I opened the door to the first room. It was almost empty except for a mirror leaning against the wall. I stepped inside, and the temperature dropped instantly. My breath came out white. I stared at the mirror. My reflection looked normal at first, but then something behind me moved. I didn't turn. I wanted to, but I physically couldn't. It was like fear pinned my spine in place. My reflection's eyes widened before mine did, and right over my left shoulder, a face slowly emerged, hollow, pale, sunken eyes, staring straight at me. I spun around. There was nothing there, but when I faced the mirror again, the face was still in the glass. Closer now, much closer. I ran. I burst into the second room, slammed the door behind me, and pressed my back to it. My heart was pounding so loudly I could barely hear anything else. But then, the doorknob began to turn, very slowly, as if something on the other side enjoyed dragging out the moment. I stepped away from the door. The knob kept turning. I whispered, "Please stop," but it didn't. I grabbed the nearest object, a broken lamp, and held it like a weapon. Suddenly, the turning stopped. Silence. Then 3 slow knocks. Not aggressive, not rushed. Calm, deliberate. As if whatever was outside wasn't trying to break in. It wanted me to open the door myself. I backed into the corner of the room, trying to control my breathing. And that's when the room's shadows began to move. They stretched, distorted, reaching across the floor toward me like long fingers. I shut my eyes tight, whispering, "This isn't real. This isn't real." But the cold touch that brushed my ankle was real. That was it. I bolted out through the connecting door on the opposite side of the room and found myself in the attic hallway. The light above flickered violently. The whispering returned, louder this time, faster, like multiple voices tangled together. Something ran across the hallway. Not walked, ran. Fast. Too fast to be human. I screamed. I don't even remember reaching the attic steps, but I remember climbing them, gasping for breath, feeling like something was right behind me. In the attic, everything was dark except for a single beam of moonlight coming through the broken window. I stayed there, too terrified to move. The whispering circled me. I could feel hot breath against my neck, even though no one was there. Then, the figure appeared. Not as a shadow this time. It stepped into the light. Pale, thin, hollow where the eyes should have been. Its body twitched with stiff, broken movements, like bones grinding against each other. It tilted its head at me, the same way it did at the top of the stairs. And then, it smiled. Not with its mouth. Its entire face stretched. Skin pulling in a way skin should never move. I crawled backward, crying, begging it not to touch me. It took a step, then another. Every sound it made was brittle, like dead branches snapping. The moment it reached for me, I felt something surge inside me, pure survival. I lunged for the attic door, tore it open, and tumbled down the stairs. I didn't stop. I didn't look back. I ran through the hallway, past the living room, out the front door, and into the street. I didn't feel the cold. I didn't feel the pain in my legs. I just ran until my lungs burned. I never went back to that house. But here's the part I hate admitting. Sometimes, even now, when I'm trying to sleep, I hear that whisper again. Sometimes, I see something shift in the corner of my room, just barely out of sight. And once, just once, I looked in my mirror and saw a face behind me. Not mine. Not human. I don't know what followed me out of that house, but something did. And it's still here. This account is true. The events took place exactly as described, and the shadows remain unexplained. Some nights, some places, are not safe. And if anything in this story reminded you of something you've felt or experienced, please share it in the comments. I know how heavy it is to carry something like this alone. If you're new here, subscribe and join the family. This is where we talk about the things most people are too afraid to admit really happen. Until next time, stay safe, stay sensitive, and whatever you do, don't ignore the things you feel in the dark.